You have no business being the Inspector General of Police. Na mimi nikushauri wewe, kwa sababu ni mtu ya nyumbani, wewe Bwana Kanja unatumika vibaya. Your predecessor Japheth Kome, mtoto wetu kutoka pale Meru, alitumiwa vibaya wakati ya Gen Z. Akatumia nguvu kuua watoto, kelele ilipozidi akakuwa sacrifice. Akaitwa na rais, akaambiwa jiuzuru, akajiuzuru, akaenda nyumbani. Bwana Douglas Kanja, you are being set for the same. What will happen? Na mtaniambia. Wewe utaambiwa useme hakuna abductions, hakuna nini ifanyike, kelele ikiwa mingi vile iko, utaitwa uambiwa andika barua uende wapi? It is up to you now to be a man and speak out. Na useme these abductions are being done outside the police command.
Gentlemen, assuming that Douglas Kanja was the person who was implicated, or maybe was the person who was affected by the tweet made by Albert Ojwang, and then ordered for Albert Ojwang to be arrested, or maybe reported to the DCI. Then Albert Ojwang got arrested and finally died in police custody. Do you think by now Douglas Kanja could be in office? No. We all know that. Last year, when protests occurred in the country, and during this time, we all know that lives were lost. The country was tensed. People were worried what was the next move. And the person who was sacrificed, it was Japheth Kome. Actually went home unceremoniously, just called, told to submit his resignation letter according to Gachagua, and then went home. So that was the scenario last year, 2024 June. Now, as we speak today, there is still tension in the country from the actions made by Eliud Lagat and the death of Albert Ojwang. Protests are across the country, more especially in Nairobi, but still Eliud Lagat is in office. Now, in this particular video, I want to show you that Rigathi Gachagua's prophecy has come to pass, and if people are yet to see that, I want to show you the steps that have been made so far for actually Rigathi Gachagua to be proven to be right as far as this current regime is concerned. But before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mokwa Times, please take a second or two to subscribe, like and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at this keenly, first of all, Eliud Lagat is being defended by not himself, by other people. You saw Kipchumba Murkomen defending him at the Senate, and Douglas Kanja not once but several times is also defending Eliud Lagat, proving that he has a right just like any other Kenyan to report. Now, despite the new revelations that have come up as far as the torturing of Albert Ojwang is concerned, we are still getting Douglas Kanja in the National Assembly still giving some defense and leaving Eliud Lagat free, and nobody is questioning him at all. And this is where we come now to question, like, what is the role of the National Assembly? They all know that the person who has been really implicated in this case, it is Eliud Lagat. But the people they are asking questions in Parliament, it is Douglas Kanja. That is questionable. But nevertheless, as we speak today, slowly by slowly, Douglas Kanja is being set up. When there were abductions in the country, he came out to speak and say that there were no abductions in the country. And that was very wrong. Until even the abductors were released, that's when this story went down. And Douglas Kanja was lucky by that time. Now, again, this time around, from their reports, you can tell clearly that there are people who should be culpable. People should actually be in court as we speak today, based on the police statements alone. But still, Douglas Kanja hasn't presented anyone, hasn't arrested anyone. He's still quiet. Despite giving a wrong statement, the police spokesperson by the name, I think, Njaga or something. Nyaga, I mean, yes. This gentleman still is yet to be arrested. He gave a wrong statement saying that a prisoner, not a prisoner, someone who, a suspect, got hit himself at the wall until he died. That is Albert Ojwang. Ladies and gentlemen, he gave that statement knowing very well that it was wrong. But still, Douglas Kanja is yet to do anything. Is he still being set up? Yes. Now, as we speak today, is defending none other than Eliud Lagat. But the fact remains that, as we speak today, Douglas Kanja is slowly walking towards a trap that is personally going to be held culpable on. Ladies and gentlemen, now, when we talk about Gachagua's statement, I can see from a distance that everything is being done towards it. And if this time around Douglas Kanja might escape, his time is coming. Let me take you through something here. Ojwang got killed by the police while in the custody of the police. And today's revelations are that he was tortured, and I'm going to do an extensive video on that. Now, Kanja remains adamant that they only leave the investigations purely to the IPOA. The same IPOA they were giving statements with in Nairobi after Albert was confirmed to be dead. Ladies and gentlemen, Kanja is very adamant to make decisions like the arrest of some police officers, search for those who were involved in the abduction, in the torture, and finally the death of Albert. Look at this. The people who took him from Homa Bay to Nairobi are known by Kanja. The ones who present him to the police station are known. The people who might have tortured this gentleman, who could have tortured this gentleman, are known because when he was removed from police custody, someone must have authorized. But Douglas Kanja is still very quiet about it. He's not saying anything on that. Nobody has been arrested. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak today, Kanja is the one being set up. And if you look at it from a distance, Kanja should actually also resign. But Lagarde should have resigned long time ago. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Instead of Eliud Lagarde going to the Senate to answer questions, it is Kanja going to justify that Eliud Lagarde is also a Kenyan who deserves to be protected by the law. Now, does protection of the law entail killing someone? No. But now you can see is the one being subjected to questions in the National Assembly. If there's a name that is being tainted right now negatively, it is this of Douglas Kanja. As if that was not enough, he was also presented to the National Assembly, being grilled and giving some answers, quote unquote, very useless according to me, showing some attitude that is not necessary for this country at this time when we need justice for this gentleman. Mind you, when he was doing all this, in the streets of Nairobi, there are protests going on as a result of the killing of Albert Ojwang. The protests are calling for the resignation of Eliud Lagarde. But we haven't gotten any information as far as Eliud Lagarde's resignations or intentions are concerned. The questions that I can say have been asked in the National Assembly, most of them, to me, they don't appear to be like they appear. The National Assembly members of Parliament appear to be completely uninformed with most of the things that happened. The media has revealed very well that this gentleman could have been presented to the police station, Central Police Station, after 26 hours. Others are saying that it might have been booked in and then later on taken out without signing at night for torture. So, ladies and gentlemen, when all these details are available, why is Douglas Kanja not making decisions to ensure at least he has left himself a free man? Remember, he was also set up. He was taken to campaigns. Something that has not happened in the entire devolution, where we had the Inspector General of Police going to a campaign with the president. But he felt it was okay to do so. And even the president came out to defend him. But we all remember that Japhet Kom was also praised by the president before he was called incompetent and actually offered to resign. Now, as we speak today, we are seeing Douglas Kanja being questioned in the National Assembly, while the main suspects are missing. Gachagua talked of one simple thing also before. He talked of availability of a killer squad within the police force led by Eliud Lagarde. Now, is it that the killer squad is there and that Douglas Kanja knows about it and he doesn't want to come out or probably endanger himself? I don't know what is your take, but in the comment section, share with me on the prophecy that you think Rigathi Gachagua was giving. According to me, I'm trusting Rigathi Gachagua day by day. See you next time for more videos. My name is Abel Mukwa.